So thank you, thank you. And this opens up the floor for questions. And if you will, please ask away. Yes, sir.
A lot of domain names. Let's say you had a domain name was just a singular name, like our website's AED Day. And then do you need the plural? One of our competitors took AED, made it plural.
Right.
Can that be done?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If the domain name, the question was, one of the competitors basically registered a domain name that's like one character off. It's the plural of the domain name. So there's two parts of that. Can they do that? If it's available, absolutely. Second part of that is branding. Maybe you can say, well, you can't use that name because of the way you have branded your company name and so forth. You can say, don't use that domain name. But they likely, if it's not your exact sort of doing business, DBA, doing business as name, then they were likely to be able to try to do what they can with that alternative domain name. Actually read a recent article that was really interesting of all the imitators of Groupon. You know how there's all these imitators popping up? And so overseas in all these different countries, all of their imitators started purchasing, for the namesake, started purchasing domain names. They're like Groupon China or whatever it is. And so these variations that make people think there's affiliation there, and there's not. Obviously, Groupon kind of has a legal team that maybe some of us can't afford, and so they're pursuing a few of those, but there's also still so many that they can't really keep up with them. So all they can do is to continue better optimizing than the rest of the world, and they are. They're launching alternative sites in the different countries right now that are competing with all the sort of imposters or copycats, if you will. Yes, sir.
You were talking about refreshing your content. If you had, say, 4 or 5 different versions of the content, instead of coming up with new stuff all the time, just swap it out every couple of weeks.
Yeah, you don't want to completely swap it out because again, the search engine goes, why did Bob completely swap out all of his content? You want to focus on consistently refreshing your content. And search engines read importance from left to right, top down. So think about that. So it's very important to just swap out or re-author the first maybe paragraph or two of your content. Yes?
If you have a website that is stable, we've done launching, so we hope it's stable. Is just doing a blog enough to refresh content?
Yeah. It's a common question. Do I need a blog? How's it going to help me? How's it going to move the dial? So there's two parts of it. If you have a blog that's on your site and it's dormant, then it may not do a whole lot to move the dial. The beauty of having a blog, it helps dynamically add a lot of content to your site. Okay? But what you also want to do is have a snippet on your homepage, a little box, a little preview box, that's going to always show the latest posting from your blog. And what that does is every single time Google comes back and recrawls your homepage, it goes, oh wow, there's a new block of content right there. And you don't have to do anything, you don't have to touch it. It's just showing the last, sort of a snippet of your last post from your blog. And so that's forcing Google to come back and recrawl you more often because it's every time it visits you, it goes, wow, cool, Sue has new content. So I'm going to come back more often. Yes?
So the follow-up question to that is there value in putting your website on WordPress versus another platform?
Yeah, we've pretty much standardized on WordPress, but we handle the top 3 CMS systems right now, platforms, which is WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla. Those top 3 are very SEO friendly.
What was the third one?
Drupal, Joomla, WordPress. But we recommend WordPress. Yes, those are the top 3. Static websites, are still fine. It's just you manually have to update everything and it takes 5 times as long. But with WordPress, these CMS systems, what they do is they clean out, extract the junk code, and only show a search engine your content and allow you to easily update it on your own. And that's CMS, WordPress.
And with Blogger changing, people changing Blogger and whatever it's now going to be, do you think WordPress is still going to be the same?
Blogger, Blogspot and all that stuff. We have clients ask, should I use Blogspot and link that blog to my website? No. Not going to do any good. It's not going to help you one bit whatsoever because it's physically in a different location. And it's not physically on your site. Your blog needs to be physically on your domain name, on your server. In addition to that, needs to be updated. But Blogspot and things like that, you also don't have complete control. It's not yours. And you can't drop files and things like that at the root, which are going to dictate how a search engine treats your website and really be able to SEO your website. Yes?
When you talk about replication of pages or whatever on your site, does that include also phrases? Do you have a key phrase?
Oh, no. You just not overdo it. Our content manager back there on the video is Drew Lyon, but and Drew's a content expert, and we kind of tend to focus and with a certain percentage of key phrases. If you overdo it, you'll get dinged. So, how many keywords should be in your content? It's 4 or 5, yes. 3 or 4. But how many times could you repeat those? Not very much. Don't repeat it very much. It's kind of a 1-2% rule. For however much content you have, for however many paragraphs you have, your key phrases should only be mentioned like once or twice, unless you have a really lengthy page and your key phrases can be mentioned more than that. So that's one of the easiest things to do. If you try to overdo it, it's spamming. It's keyword stuffing is what kind of it's been deemed. Yes, ma'am.
So when you say that, you need to actually put the key phrases in the content spread out, not the little meta tag.
Exactly.
Okay.
In the actual content. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's fundamental. No matter how much work your SEO company does, one of the first things we do too out of the bat in the first, second month is we'll author and suggest new content for the homepage that has a minimum amount, it's content saturated with keywords. And if that minimum key phrase that we're focusing on is not in your content at all, 90% of the time when we kick off the campaign, the keywords we're focusing on are never once mentioned in the content of the homepage. If they're not, no matter how much work we do, you'll not get good traction and good rankings for your target key phrases. The minimum requirement has to be met. Yes?
If a lot of different companies refer to your site or link back directly to your site, are there anything specific that you can put
Yes.
in that link and so forth?
Yes, good question. If you're working with an SEO company or an SEO expert, they should give you some code. It's called an anchor tag. It's literally one line of code. And that's what moves the dial. That is the number one most important sort of secret ingredient, if you will. And when Google finds that link, it goes, aha, it's anchor tagged with a key phrase. And the more you have, it consistently bumps you up higher and higher for those key phrases. So if you're working with some folks and you have partners, and they're a big company especially, and they have a good PR ranking, you can email them that code and say, hey guys, could you please add this anchor tag to the link that points back to my website? And any link at all from a high-ranking website is good, but if it's associated to a keyword, it's going to shoot you up there. Yes?
How about registering for a whole lot of free directories? Does that have any value?
Registering for a whole lot of free directories. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There's a lot of, we include that in part of our overall link development strategy, but there's a right way to do it. And so usually we use a directory out there that's not a PR0 or PR1. They need to have some ranking because there's a infinite amount of free directories out there. So number one, they need to have some value, some SEO ranking, PR score, and if they offer an anchor tag, then disco. Because they'll have a field. How many of you use LinkedIn? Cool. All of you. Awesome. This is so all of you guys have a LinkedIn account. There's something you could update on it right now that could help your website a little bit. If you go to add, you know how you can add links on your LinkedIn web account to some of your websites like your blog and whatnot? Now, if you guys have noticed this, but they added an option recently to try to be more SEO friendly. And under the type of links, choose other and see what pops up. When you choose other, you're going to get an additional box that's keyword anchor tag. And it's going to let you put in a key phrase there. And it anchor tags it. But you're not going to see that option unless you select other for the type of links. Yes?
Just for somebody like myself, I'm a one-person sole proprietor with a training company. So
I almost fear this optimization because there's only so much one person can do. And originally thought my business website is something, obviously I've changed my thinking over the years, but it's something to direct clients to if they want to read more information, read my bio, read a list of classes, things like that. Is what your company does something that's doable for a one-person operation, or is it something that they
I would say the majority of our accounts are actually targeting local. And that's just because based on pure numbers. I mean, most businesses are small businesses, are one or two man shops. Most, America thrives on small businesses. But then, so out of every so many, we work with bigger companies and so forth. We even have a process. One of our uniquenesses is we have a process where, in often case, if it's a bigger company, their development may not want us to physically touch their site. And that's completely okay with us. But because we reveal and we put the code together, we can throw it over the fence of what the before and after code changes need to be. And so without really needing to understand SEO, but you're a good developer, you can make those SEO changes because we throw it over the fence. Now to answer your question, that's usually where the most opportunity is for the small business, just because the majority are half butting it, I won't say the other word, but they're not doing the full enchilada. And so when you incorporate a complete SEO strategy and you optimize your Google Places correctly, you do all this backlink development, you do make all these other quality changes to your site, you kick butt above all the others. But first of all, we just double check and see how viable it is. So the first thing we show you is how are people searching for you and how often are they looking. And then we can optimize from there. Yes?
I'm trying to think how to phrase this.
Okay.
You know how Facebook has opened up live rooms?
Yes.
And so do you find that to be helpful, or is it considered?
Good question. So Facebook added this thing called iframes, and it basically allows you to add code to your Facebook account, your Facebook page. Kind of okay. The question was, how can you use the Facebook page? It added something called iframes to kind of influence your rankings, because you can use iframes and put code on the page and essentially kind of make it like a web page. Okay, so it won't really help your website that much, because even if it links back to your website, it's just one link. And to move the dial, we need hundreds and hundreds of quality links. On top of that, Google has, Facebook and other mediums have what's called a nofollow. How many of you know what a nofollow tag means? Okay. A nofollow is a code. It literally says nofollow. It's put on a link, and it says don't give this person credit for this link. Because if you have links going out from your website, think about it. Right now on your website, how many links do you have going out? Every single one of those counts against you, because you're being graded for an overall ratio of how many links are pointing out and how many links are pointing in. So if you need to keep those links on your site going out, we add what's called a nofollow code. And it tells the search engine, don't count this against me. Okay, so you're not going to lose link juice. So with Facebook, lately it has been published that even with the nofollow, because it's coming from social media, especially Facebook, it'll actually carry some weight. It is evident, okay? But if it's coming from other sites, non-Facebook, and it has a nofollow, you'll get no credit from it. So at the end of it, not a whole lot. Yes, ma'am?
Am I to understand that if you don't have a physical address on your web page, then you're penalized?
If you don't have a physical address.
They only show your PO box on your web page.
Oh, that's in terms of Google Places. Google has kind of cracked down on PO boxes, which is a good thing for you, because folks were trying to cheat the system and use PO boxes to set up multiple Google Places, and those have since been dinged. So now Google frowns upon that, and it wants a physical address for your Google Places. So a real address, and the way it, how many of you have obtained a Google Places yourself? Okay, there's two ways it validates that you are who you say you are and you are where you say you are. It will let you validate over the phone with a PIN, or it'll send you a postcard in the mail. Okay? So you can also use one Google Places to cover different parts of the different areas. So physical address.
So need a physical address.
If you don't have a business physical address, use your neighbors. No, but but it's 100% valid. Okay. Google, you can use your neighbor's address. Don't do that. But Google looks to see if it's a real physical address that has not prior been claimed. Okay. As long as it is, that's where you're. That's where you're at. Yes.
So I look on my home.
Yes.
Go to different places.
Yes.
That's my
Then
home.
home address.
Is that kind of safe?
We get that question a lot from local business owners, and the fact is, if you're putting your home address on there, it's going to be public. Reality is, what's the chances of somebody looking you up on Google Maps and following your physical address, showing up at your doorstep next to Neil? Next to none. But that's kind of your choice. And is somebody going to show up at your doorstep? Likely not. If you're not providing service out of that location. Yes.
This is for her. You can claim your Google Places, but check not to show your street address.
Ah, there you go. Yes, you can also check to not show your street address. Some of your other info will be on there, but it's a good option. Yes.
Will you lose link juice if you're using Google Maps?
No. In fact, it may kind of promote your Google Maps a little bit because you're embedding, the more folks that embed your Google Map or your YouTube video can help just give those pieces more authority. So for you to link to your map is a common practice, and it's a good one.
Well, what if you're not linking to your map, you're linking to, like for a review website?
Right.
So you're linking to,
Doesn't hurt you? It doesn't help you, I mean.
okay.
Won't help you. I would, if you can keep from linking to other folks' stuff, don't. Yeah, if you can keep from linking out to and giving. Anytime you link out to somebody, you are giving somebody else credit. Okay. So, yes.
I just have a question along that same note. I have, through Commission Junction, 3 products that I advocate for my business.
Yes.
That clients use. So I'm basically hurting myself by having those ads, like the Friends of, for example, on my page.
Yes. But you can no follow them, and you won't lose the same amount of yes. You need to actually add that to your code.
Maybe on there I can just say, go to Frank and Covey and not have the ad, without a link.
No, you can link to them. It just needs to be, you have to add that code to the link. Okay. One thing I do want to offer is I want to make an offer for you today. If today all you need to do is, if you'd like to get the evaluations, we've actually already put together a lot of evaluations for all of the websites that have been provided. But if you'd like to if you haven't, and you'd just like to sign up and fill out the appointment card, we'll offer a 25% discount on the first month of any type of search engine marketing campaign that we offer. Yes?
What about reciprocal links? Because we deal, if our entire international base is through distributors. So
Yes.
we link out to our distributor side, but they link out to us.
Right.
Is that benefiting mutual?
It's a great question. I love these questions because everybody is becoming a lot more savvy. That's a great question. So do reciprocal links help you? And that is definitely part of our overall game plan. And that's when you link to somebody and you give them credit and they link back to you and they give you credit, okay? So there's actually not a straightforward answer to that. The reason is because you're essentially just trading link juice. You're giving them some credit, they're giving you back the same credit, and one of you is going to have a more popular site. So for reciprocal link change works best if you're starting from ground zero and your website is in its infancy. And then they'll very much help you. But if you've been doing SEO and you've achieved a certain page rank, you want to back off that reciprocal link exchange because it's only going to drag you down. At that point, all you want is one-way links. Folks pointing to you. Please let me know when you want to cut me off. 5, okay. Yes?
Is there an easy way to check for incorrect information about your business? We've only been open 2 years and we still get people with the wrong address.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But when I look it up, everything is
Mhm.
correct.
Okay, okay. See, Drew's on the mic back there. You remember that utility? There's actually a free reputation management utility out there. I've posted it on our Twitter account, and now for the life of me, I'm just drawing a blank. I can't remember the name of it. There's a link to it on our Twitter account, though. It's 100% free. And what it's done is it pipes in every single known sort of Google Places or map listing and local directory listings for your site and your business name. And it'll show you that and populate it all. And then you've got a dashboard. And you can go and say, wrong, 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 wrong. I need to update this. And basically it collectively brings it all together. And if you guys want, I cannot remember, I'm just drawing a blank right now. You can just submit our form on our website, findmycompany.com, shoot me or Ellen a personal email, check out our Twitter account, and we'll fire back and email you back the name of that utility. Yes?
Does it make sense to have, as far as the title of your homepage site, for it to be different than your actual domain name? I've had a client ask me. They're very obsessed with the 64 characters.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. I like your questions. I like all these questions. But the 64 character, don't use all these canned software applications out there. They're online. They're free. They grade your website and give you some arbitrary, number. They don't work. It's not a human being looking at your machine. You're looking at your website. They can't tell how good your code is, how well, if your different pages are optimized correctly, and so forth. One of those criteria is sort of the 64 character thing. There's a lot of things like that where it's like rule of thumb. Don't have more than 64 characters in your homepage meta. So far, it has been proven and tested that you can actually have more than 64 characters, and in no way, affects you negatively. So it's kind of that's one of those it's a little bit of a myth that's out there, but we also don't want to spam that title and put too much. There is a limit, and you really don't want too much more than 60 to 80 characters on that meta title. So there is a limit. And did you guys know, how many of you know that the meta keyword tag doesn't do anything? How many of you knew that the meta keyword tag doesn't do anything anymore? Doesn't do anything anymore. It used to, about 4 or 5 years ago. Kept on getting less and less important. And now the keywords you put in your meta keyword tag on your website make no difference. You don't even have to barely use it. But we optimize it, and we put keywords in that Google, in the meta keyword tag, in case down the road Google decides to start putting some significance again on the meta keyword title. But the reason it stopped using it makes all the sense in the world. Everybody pretty much started just putting the same keywords in their meta tags, right? So Google grades for overall quality, content, code optimization of your site, and backlinks. Could care less about your meta keyword tag. 1 minute. Yes? So this, and one more question, and we will wrap up. Yes, sir?
The domain name for my parent organization is .org.
Yes.
When I set up a local website, I found that the .biz was available, so I took it.
Okay.
Is there an advantage in that?
No, sir. No, sir. I don't know if you guys have heard some of the rumor, but the naming service out there is going to potentially open it up to getting many other different types of extensions. It may become ridiculous. No more .net, .biz. It's actually going to open up a whole can of worms. So does the type of extension you get affect anything? No, it doesn't. .com is just typically better because it's more recognizable and more memorable. Should you get the extensions? Yes, you should squat on them just so that your competitors don't. And just get the main ones like a .net, .org, and so forth is a very good idea. But you may not need to go crazy and get every single other extension that's known to man. If you're expanding into other countries, you need to purchase the .cn and so forth. And that will, one quick question.
I know you mentioned like PO box is not a good thing to use.
Yes.
What if you use Regis offices? Is that
Yes, you can. That's good. It's a physical address. So thank you so much, everybody.